Good morning, Maple Ave, and happy Thursday. Today, our Thursday thoughts comes from the story of Elijah in 1 Kings 19. So when we pick up in the story in chapter 19, Elijah is on the run from death threats from Jezebel, and he comes to a cave near Mount Horeb to seek refuge. The Lord approaches Elijah and asks him what he's doing there, and Elijah expresses that he feels alone and forsaken. He says the Israelites have all abandoned the covenant and he's the only faithful one left, and I think he's discouraged, feels alone, and doesn't know what to do. So, in chapter 19, we pick up with the words of the Lord in verse 11. The Lord said, "Go out and stand on the mountain in the presence of the Lord, for the Lord is about to pass by." Then a great and powerful wind tore the mountains apart and shattered the rocks before the Lord, but the Lord was not in the wind. After the wind there was an earthquake, but the Lord was not in the earthquake. After the earthquake came a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire came a gentle whisper. When Elijah heard it, he pulled his cloak over his face and went out and stood at the mouth of the cave. I wonder if Elijah was surprised by the way that the Lord showed up. I'm assuming God didn't come in the way he would have expected, perhaps in that wind, in the earthquake, or in the fire. For just in the previous chapter, the Lord did come by fire to prove that he alone was God and Baal was not. I wonder if Elijah was doubting God's power when he didn't show up in the fire, wind, or earthquake. I wonder if we too sometimes wish that the Lord would come in those visible and powerful ways, just plain and clear right in front of us. Perhaps a miraculous miracle, a clear prophetic word, or a vision that we have. And I wonder if we get envious when we see God showing up in other people's lives like that. We think that's more miraculous, or they have a better relationship with the Lord because he showed up clear. And then we doubt if God is really with us and if he is really for us. Sometimes we might be too distracted and busy and consumed with noise to notice the Lord speaking to us. We miss that gentle whisper that God provides for us in our lives, and that is no less powerful and is no less moving than him showing up in a grand earthquake, fire, or wind. God showing up in a low whisper is just as miraculous, for it is the voice of God speaking to us. So this week, I wonder how we can adopt the practice of noticing. Perhaps it looks like taking just an extra moment in our day to pause and reflect. Maybe it's noticing God's voice as he speaks to us through an encouraging or consoling word from a friend. Maybe it's noticing God speak to us through a beautiful sunrise, or the falling leaves, or the sound of the wind rushing through those trees. Maybe it's noticing God speak to us as we read scripture and just one word keeps popping out. Maybe that's the way the Lord is speaking to us in this low, gentle whisper. God's character is so beautiful and so deep and so grand that we can never capture it or put it in a box or list all of the ways that we can expect God to show up. And thank goodness that he always exceeds our expectations, for he shows up and acts in ways far better than we could ever imagine.